Good morning. I am happy to be speaking to you from the chapel today, albeit at a distance from you. It feels strange and unusual to be standing in this empty chapel that is normally filled with 500 of you students and teachers. It is not the same without you. But since this is not a normal chapel situation, this is probably not going to be a normal chapel speech. I won't try to say anything very inspirational. I don't plan to give you any great words of wisdom or advice of which you should live your lives. And I want to address my comments specifically to the seniors. I thought I would just talk to you a bit today about Darlington, about the Darlington that I graduated from and the Darlington that you are about to graduate from. In many important ways, it's still the same school. Many of the core principles, such as the honor code, are still very much at the heart of the school. In many other ways, though, it's a very different place from the Darlington that I graduated from. Some of the rules and practices of the Darlington of my day as a student may seem very archaic or weird or silly or even funny to you students today. When I enrolled in Darlington in 1959, this was still a very segregated country, especially here in the South. And Darlington was a segregated school. It was an all-boys school as well. We were all male, all white, all Southern, and except for a few of my Jewish classmates, all of us were Christian. If anybody had used the word diversity in those days, I guess they would have been referring to my friend and classmate Randy Stokely, because he was from Indiana, and that was about as different and exotic and unusual as it got around here. Of course, Randy was male and white and Christian, just like all the rest of us. To give you a sense of the flavor and atmosphere of the place, though, I thought I would read you a few rules and regulations from my Tiger handbook, which was a lot smaller than the one today. In those days, we went to school Monday through Friday for the first half of the year. And then after Christmas, we went to school Tuesday through Saturday and had Mondays off. I never really did understand why we did that. Classes began at 8:40 and ended at 3:15, so the school day was much shorter. Athletics, including varsity sports, ran from 3:30 to 5 o'clock. Not 5:15, not 5:30, not 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. We played sports in those days as members of the Mid-South Conference of Independent Schools. We played on the other private schools. And most of them in this part of the country were boys' military boarding schools. Castle Heights, Columbia Military, Battleground Academy, Sewanee Military Academy, Baylor, McCallie, all of those were military schools. And Darlington was one of the few all-boys schools that was not. So for all of our athletic events, we did a good bit of travel. And you'll find this unusual. We student managers drove the school cars. We did not have vans, we did not have buses, we had station wagons. And if the basketball team or the track team was going to Baylor or McCallie for a meet, the coach would drive one car and we managers would drive the others. I think our current administration would be horrified to think of the insurance ramifications of that today. Room inspection was every day at 6 p.m. Dinner at 6:15, coat and tie every night except Saturday. So boarding students had to get in from sports at 5 and be ready, showered, shaved, and in coat and tie for dinner. We went to church a lot in those days. We had our normal chapel service on Wednesdays. But on Sundays, the boarding students were all required to attend church in town. So they were bussed in to attend the churches of their choice. And then they had another service on Sunday night here in the chapel, the Vespers. So for boarding students, Sunday was pretty much a coat and tie day, required for church required for lunch, and required for vespers. The honor code was very strong, and we were required to write the honor pledge on every piece of work we turned in. Tests, papers, homework. On my honor as a Darlington gentleman, I have neither given nor received aid on this assignment. We stood when teachers entered the classroom, every class, every day. And the teachers would come in, the room would stand, and the teachers would say, "Take your seats." Smoking was allowed. Students who were 16 or older could have written parental smoking permission. They had a little card that they carried with them in their wallets. And you'll appreciate this. Boarding students were only allowed to smoke in their rooms, which of course today is the worst thing you could possibly do. Day students were also allowed to smoke. They had a day student smoking lounge, which is in that little wing of the ground that sticks out towards the cove closest to the chapel. So during recess, you could see all the day students huddled in there and having their morning cigarette. We had detentions in those days. I got a few detentions myself for parking violations. In those days, day students had to park behind the old gym, much closer than the Huffman Center is for new students today. But like many of you, I was always occasionally tempted to park in the faculty lots, and I always got caught. Boarding students were not allowed to have cars, but they were allowed to drive their dates' cars. So on Saturday night, there would be a steady parade of girls from Thornwood and East Rome and West Rome pulling through the gates, pulling in front of Wilcox and South to pick up their dates, sliding over in the seat so that the boy could drive. Boarding students could also drive day students' cars if we were double dating. But when I returned to Darlington in 1982 as a teacher and administrator, I returned to a very different place indeed. Girls. We were a co-ed school. Darlington had merged with Thornwood in the early 70s, and we had taken both day and boarding girls. We had a lower school established on the Thornwood campus. We had been integrated for a number of years by that point. We had international students. Boarding students were allowed to have cars. And for athletics, the old Mid-South Association had dissolved, and we, from that point on, played within the confines of the Georgia High School Association. I came back to new buildings and improved facilities. And look at us today. Students from 5 continents, Asia, Africa, Europe, North and South America, Australia, the Caribbean, multiple languages, multiple cultures, and multiple faith traditions. And as the nature of the Darlington student body changed, Darlington has adapted and moved forward in an amazingly healthy and progressive way that we can all be proud of. It has made Darlington a very distinctive school in this country. All of my memories of Darlington are happy ones, except for the occasional detention. We enjoyed school. We liked our teachers. We liked each other. We had a great energy and a great school spirit, great friendships, great relationships. And in fact, the greatest part of being a student at Darlington was the teachers. I've always considered myself especially lucky to have had many of the great legendary teachers and administrators who built Darlington during its first 50 years. Wright, Yankee, Judd, Register, Moser, Cunningham, Cobb, McNall, Scott, all of those guys who had come here in the 1920s and 30s and 40s were still here. And we had teachers and coaches whom we looked up to and respected greatly, who took a great personal interest in all of us. And when I returned here at 82, I had the special joy of actually being a colleague with some of those great teachers that I had had as a student. Those teachers were the great strength strength of Darlington in the 60s, and that is still true today. You have your great senior teachers of this generation of faculty. While I had Register and Moser and Cunningham and Cobb, you have had Cox, McDermott, the Inmans, the Kennys, Woods, Shorey, O'Mara, Tennell, Hudson, Atkins, Hunt, Ava, and many, many more. Another signature aspect of Darlington for my generation was the number of bright, energetic, young faculty members who were like big brothers and mentors to all of us. Huddle, Whitaker, Awesome, Somerville, Neville. And by the time I returned here, some of those young teachers were now the senior faculty, and they had become the legendary teachers of Darlington. We formed such strong friendships with them. One in particular, Bert Hudnall, who came here fresh out of Washington and Lee as a first-year teacher, was such a good friend that we still stay in touch and see each other a couple of times a year. His wife, Martha Jane, and I and Bert talk on the phone every Christmas Eve, as we have done for over 50 years. Alec Whitaker, who was the first Darlington teacher who really took a strong interest in me, was my honors freshman English teacher and the yearbook advisor. He was very much an important part of my life. I used to babysit for his son, Whit, who is now a college president and a member of Darlington's Board of Trustees. And think of all those bright and dedicated young teachers and coaches that you have today who have become an important part of your lives. Marshall, Evans, Enderley, the Owens, Betts, McVeigh, Bruce, Bradshaw. I hope that 20 or 30 or 40 years from now, you will still be in touch with many of them. I hope you'll also stay in touch with your classmates through the years. Recently, I have, along with a group of day student classmates here in Rome, gotten back in touch with a group of our boarding classmates from Atlanta. We had so much fun at our 50th and our 55th reunions. I can't believe it's been that long. It certainly doesn't feel like it. That we decided not to wait every 5 years to get together, particularly at our age. So a group of us old day boys from Rome and a group of old boarding boys from Atlanta have lunch together several times a year. There are about 20 of us. And it is amazing how easily we've fallen back into that comfortable, easy, warm relationship and friendship that we had as students here in the 60s. So looking back on Darlington then and on Darlington today, I'm happy to say that the most important aspects of life here to me then, relationships and honor, are still, in my view, the most important aspects of the Darlington today. My wish for all of you students, and especially for you seniors, is that as you go through your life, you will cherish those two aspects of your time here at Darlington, your honor and your relationships. They make for a very rich life. Best wishes to all of you as we begin to work our way through this very strange time of coronavirus in our lives. And of course, as an English teacher, I have to end by throwing in a literary allusion. As Tiny Tim and Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol would say, in this time of coronavirus, God bless us, each and every one. Thank you.